treat your life like a computer hacker. Okay. Them people treat your life like a computer hacker. Them people treat your life like a computer. May have a few friends, me not the more and that. The close friends me have them solid as a rock. And me run the one them want come stabbing on me back. And the one them when need me when them like what? You can't buy me friendship like a sucker even for me to a shop. And I buy back if you still we have a picture more me with quarter. Yeah, you know me and you go way back. Twenty we have respect and manners. To all of me friends, them two words matter. If you treat your life like a computer hacker, mind them and they want to find your life ladder. Yeah, you know me and you go way back. You know me and you go way back. All them want to be fruits from your liver and suck out your blood. Like Jack your What? Them people treat your life like a computer hacker. And suck out your blood. Like Jack your law. Them people treat your life like a computer hacker.
It's a Friday afternoon here in Miami, Florida. People, are you alive? You gotta give me emotes. I see Facebook is off to the races right now. Twitch, you gotta step it up, because Facebook, you're chattering up over there. I see you guys. You're there. Give me something. Give me some love. Oh, it is time to build a PC in VR. I knew this day would come. Just kidding. Hello everyone, my name is Lewis. I am your host for today's live build. Joining me is PJ, our magnificent master builder. Today we are building a PC for ThePoolshark, who many of you over on Facebook already know. Actually, the chat is extremely active over there. Hi Poolshark, I see you guys over there in a Facebook chat. And again, Facebook bringing the buzz over there. Howdy Twitch, howdy Twitter, howdy YouTube, and howdy Mixer. We're streaming on 5 platforms, and it's gonna interact with you guys. Poolshark, I see you over there on Facebook. Again, howdy. We're gonna get into the specs real quick here while PJ gets everything set up and good to go, so you guys see what we're building today. Let me also turn off the music here, or lower it as much as I possibly can. All right, I think that's fine. Let me know if the music's too loud or too quiet. I think I'll leave it like that. I'd rather not have it overtake. But just let me know. Keep me posted on the audio. Anyways, today we are building a Millennium desktop. It's one of our popular case options. It's a full tower. We designed it and is exclusive to us, so you can't find it anywhere else. The power supply is a Corsair RM850X 80 plus gold power supply. Motherboard's an ASRock X570 Extreme 4. X570? Oh, well, you'll see soon enough. The all-in-one liquid cooler, we're going with the Origin RGB Frostbite. That's a 360 millimeter with radiator as well. For the fans, this is the first time I've seen these on stream, so that's pretty cool. We're using the QL-IQ RGB fan, so this is actually kind of new on Corsair side, but they have a ton of RGB lights in those fans, and they're super customizable using the IQ software. For the CPU, and now we saw that, we were talking about this earlier, and we were like, this is a pretty big CPU there. We're like, whoa. This is an AMD Ryzen 9 3950X 16 core coming in at 3.5 gigahertz per core with a possibility of 4.7 gigahertz max boost. 16 cores with those speeds is absolutely insane. For the graphics card, it's 6GB EVGA NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 KO Ultra Gaming. Now you're probably also wondering, wait, that's not a 2080 Ti, and that's a really good CPU. This is a streaming PC build, so this is not a gaming PC. You could probably easily, remove the EVGA 2060, maybe add an EVGA 2080 Ti if you wanted to. But for today's build, this is a streaming focused build, so this PC is going to be designed all about streaming. For the RAM, we're going with 32 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz DDR4 Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB. It's 16 gigabytes each. For storage, we're going with a 1 terabyte Seagate FireCuda NVMe M.2 SSD, which, by the way, does get that extra boost of Gen 4 PCIe because we are using an AMD CPU today. The rest of the storage is a 6 terabyte Seagate Barracuda hard disk drive. And finally, just capping it all off, just emphasizing the fact this is a streaming PC, is we're also including an Elgato 4K 60 Pro capture card. The best of the best. If I'm not mistaken, I think that is also the Mark II variation, but I need to double check that. But it's still overall pretty good. You can't even find capture cards in the market right now. It's kind of hard. They're tough to come by. So very solid streaming build. Of course, the Origin wooden crate is also included warranty and a lifetime 24/7 US-based support and a lifetime free labor, and of course, all powered by Windows 10. Shout out to Microsoft! I like Windows 10, man. I think they did a really good job with it. Anyways, PJ, you are good to go. Do what you need to do. Chat, give me all the questions you want. I see you, ThePoolshark. The thing is, Facebook chat's moving really fast, so if you want to send me a message directly, Pool, just send me a message over Discord and I'll catch it through there, because Facebook's moving real fast. So just let me know. All right, so we got the case all set up there. PJ's gonna remove that side panel, and we're good. So it's a streaming PC. Just to clarify, yes, you are correct. This is a streaming PC. So what's the difference between a streaming PC and a gaming PC? Even though I know people will probably jump in chat and be saying like, "Whoa, that's a crazy process for a streaming PC." Some might agree with you. I might agree with you, but it's just really, really good processor. You don't have to worry about anything else for the future. And it's also upgradable too. That processor is going to last an incredibly long time. It's one of AMD's best when they released it a couple months ago. But very solid CPU and can easily be converted to a gaming PC if you wanted to. It's just the 2060 KO from EVGA is a very solid card too at that price point. And you can be using coding with that as well. So AM4 socket, right? It's AMD, but if I'm correct, it should be. It should be. Let me confirm really quick. X570 AM4. Yep, that should be it. Yeah. Yep. That is correct. I built my own PC back in December. This guy's about to make it look way easier. That's that sounds about right. PJ can knock out builds pretty quickly. Again, he's built countless amounts of PCs, and again, this is using our case, so it's a little different from other cases. It's a full tower. It's pretty big. It's a beefy boy, but PJ does an incredible job cranking out the PCs pretty quickly. So I will say with this build, it'll take a little bit more time just because of the fact we're also including the Corsair QL IQ fans, and those require extra wiring to the, I think we're going to be using, I don't know if PJ can answer this, if we're going to be using Commander Pro or the other module from Corsair. So, what's my favorite PC size? I love mid-towers. Compact mid-towers are my thing. I have 2 of them at home. I just love that they're compact, they're powerful, they do everything you need to do. You don't have that all that front space bay. I don't need that. All I need is the motherboard space, power supply space. I'm good. Just chop it all off that front, gone. It makes it easier. It looks, I don't know. I don't, for me personally, I don't get the benefit of the front bays, but there are some builds that do benefit from it. In this case, this build will have a hot swap bay, so you can easily swap hard drives in and out. So the motherboard, by the way, before the build, PJ already not mounted, but he already put the RAM and the CPU in. So PJ, if any chance, just want to zoom in to show people how it looks in there. But we have lights, or a light shining, so you can see what's going on over there. Actually, let me swap to the other camera really quick to see how it looks. There you go. So again, 4 sticks of Dominator RAM. I thought it was 2. I was wrong. So 4 sticks, and those are all 8 gigabytes each for a total of 32. The M.2 is already in there, so you can't see because it's got that shield. And there is the Ryzen CPU. Again, the 3950X is no slouch. I know people always jump on here and they're like Intel versus AMD. 3950X, really, really good. It's right there at the edge of a Threadripper. So very top-notch CPU. But again, Intel's no slouch either. They're both great. Honestly, I think the competition's fantastic. Actually, just recently, speaking of Intel, we just revealed that we're going to be carrying the 10th gen Intel Core desktop processors across all our desktops. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out at originpc.com. Whew. How much does it cost? Good question. We'll have to spec it out. It won't be exactly the same because some parts may not be on our site. But we can spec it out on our site in a little bit. Let me just get everything prepped for that. But I just want to show the build before jumping off camera again. Jump over here. The RAM is the same I have, and it's amazing. It's black, right? We got the black ones today. I have the black ones at home too. Dominator, honestly, I know that some people say, "Oh, it's a little extra." I love it. I can just, it can handle it. Can the AIO be controlled by IQ? From my understanding, no, because this is not a Corsair AIO. If it was a Corsair one, yes, but we're using the Frostbite AIO today. Does the 4K 60 card make a difference if you're only streaming in 1080p 60 FPS? I don't have personal experience with it. I'm trying to remember what card we have in our streaming PC. Actually, I can check right now. What am I talking about? Give me a moment. I think I have the Elgato 60. I know we have an Elgato, and we have 2 Elgatos actually. Let me confirm which ones we have. Device manager. I'm checking right now. Yeah, so we do have, we have a 4K 60 Pro. I think it's great. The difference is pretty negligible, but what it's really good for is if you want to create 4K content for YouTube. Streaming 4K isn't really possible. You need a ridiculous internet connection. The people watching you also need a ridiculous internet connection. It's just not feasible right now. But if you're capturing content in 4K, it's awesome. That I can comfortably say. If you're just doing 1080p, it's also fine too. If you can get your hands on it, it's fine. So I know that the price point is a little higher up, but considering the availability of capture cards, if you can get your hands on one, I would say go for it, considering I know the 1080p cards are pretty hard to come by. How can the AIO be managed in BIOS? Yeah, that's how it's set up. Is this Ryzen 9 better than some i9 processors? Honestly, the 3950X is leaning heavily. It's not a Threadripper. I have to be very, very explicit. It is not a Threadripper, but it's very close to Threadripper capability. Benchmarks-wise, it does, perform better, but it also costs more too. So definitely higher price point, a little more performance, but in terms of gaming, both of them are still going to be fine. Because I know people are asking, oh, which one's better for gaming? They're both great for gaming. Intel Core, well, I haven't seen the bench. I know we're talking about the new processors from Intel, the 10th gen, but I haven't seen the benchmarks yet. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't spent time looking for them, but from my understanding, they're going to be good. But again, I don't know if do we have them in house? I work from home, and I'm only here for the build, so I haven't seen any benchmarks here internally. So I don't know, but they're both great. I'm just really curious to see the performance of these 10th gen CPUs. So, because at home I have the 9700K, which is great. Honestly, it's fantastic. All right, let's see. I just bought a new graphics card and it turns broken. Oh man, RMA it. If you bought it directly from a vendor, RMA it ASAP. Don't let it sit there. Get your money back. Why is the motherboard smaller than the tower? It's typically smaller than the tower. That bottom area, by the way, is for the power supply. If you're wondering, that section right there, that's for the power supply. It's a standard ATX board. The eATX boards are the massive ones. But that's just your standard ATX motherboard. And the tower is also really big too. It's wide. So when you're looking at it from this angle. So I'm checking up all your questions. Are you gonna use air cooling or water cooling CP? So we're going all in one liquid cooling. The Frostbite. You can find it on our site. It's a standard high performance all-in-one cooling unit. So I know we've had Corsair all-in-ones on light builds before. Those are really, really good. I have one on one of my builds at home. Thick tower. And the thicker tower is the Genesis. Again, if you guys haven't seen the Genesis, it's similar design to the Millennium, except it has a lower bay which you can use for storage or liquid cooling. So, thank you, Thanos, or I want to say Thanos Racer, GR Ever Mixer. Appreciate it. Oh man. Do you sell just a case? We do not. Every once in a blue moon, when I say every once in a blue moon, like every couple years or so, we do, but right now we don't. Again, these cases are exclusive to us. And we also are now offering Corsair cases on our site. We actually put up a video on our YouTube channel, hi YouTube, showcasing how you can actually customize using a Corsair case on our site today. It's pretty cool. And I know some people like that option because it does lower the price point in some cases. And some people do like the Corsair designs too. I mean, I like both Corsair and Origin designs, but it's more options, which is pretty cool. Again, that's a collaboration between Corsair and Origin. Pretty happy with it. I'm getting a taste of ThePoolshark chat. You guys are great though. I always like seeing Facebook take off with the chat. It's usually Twitch that's really active, but in this case, today's stream is getting a ton of movement on Facebook. So that's great. Is the case going to have ThePoolshark's logo in it? It won't be in it, but it will be on it. Oh, we'll get to that later. But don't worry. If you miss it, you can watch it after. Stop poking me. Ah. No trade-ins. Origin PC CEO in the house. Howdy, Kevin. I don't have any experience of water cooling. Is a fan blowing the inside or the outside of the casing? So let's see. There's a difference. So there's custom loops and there's all-in-one loops. All-in-one loops are really, really easy. Is this you mount it on to the CPU? You have the radiator mounted, and then you have the fans on the radiator blowing air out, or making sure that the radiator is cooled using the fans. It can go either way, and there's a lot of people that go back and forth. If you want to put the fans in the front, do you want to put the fans in the back, do you want air going in, do you want air going out? There are multiple ways of doing it. We've done it in multiple ways here too, but radiators are pretty solid, and radiator all-in-ones are pretty solid. So honestly, it's a matter of preference, shockingly. Some people say that it's better to have the air blowing out. Some people say it's okay having the air blowing in. For my personal PC at home, I have the air blowing out. So do you think buying a PC is worth it now? Honestly, I mean, people always ask me like, oh, is it better to wait for the new, stuff coming out? One of the most wonderful things about PCs is you can always upgrade it in the future. So if you get one now, it'll be great. Like if you get the latest, hardware, my recommendation to people always get the best CPU you can possibly afford in your budget, because CPUs are gonna be the trickiest part to replace. However, your RAM, your storage, and your graphics card can all be replaced. That's the coolest part about PCs. Unlike with consoles, sometimes you have to get rid of the entire console to upgrade. Look at the Xbox One, look at the PlayStation. With the PC, you can just, swap out the graphics card, sell the graphics card to someone else, and use that money towards a better graphics card, or get the new graphics card. You know what I mean. Basically, you can use the parts from your PC build and either sell them or repurpose them as well. So it's really cool. Honestly, I think a PC is always going to be worth it. It's my personal platform of choice, and if you have friends that do play on PC, why not? Make the splash. I think it's great. And then you don't have to pay for those monthly subscriptions for like Xbox Live and PlayStation. That spoiled me, honestly, especially, being younger and playing on consoles and having to pay that fee to play online, and then realizing on PC, it's like, you don't got to pay anything. You just pay for the game, pay for internet, like your actual ISP internet, and you're good to go. Let's say, tell them the truth. I'm preaching. Here at Origin, we're always big proponents of PC gaming in general. So even though some people a ton of people always jump on here like, oh, I built my own. I was like, great, fantastic. I think it's great, because the more people play PC, I think it's better. And actually, this week's been pretty crazy for PCs, because I mentioned earlier we got the 10th gen Intel Core announcement that it's here, it's out. People are always waiting for like, oh, when's the new stuff coming out? Guess what? The new ships are already out over there. And then also on the Epic Games Store, they made GTA 5 free. What? GTA 5 for free? And it's not just GTA 5, it's the premium edition, so you get a bunch of bonuses, which is fantastic. Even if you don't play on PC, I highly, highly, highly recommend you get an Epic account and get that set up, so at least you have it added, because especially if you like that, or if you like GTA in general, I think it's fantastic. Epic Store was down yesterday, but today I think people are reporting it's pretty easy to jump on and grab it. But I've been playing it recently and always have a ton of fun in that game. I think combined with my PlayStation and PC game time, I probably have over 300 hours in GTA, which is terrifying. I know PJ has more though. But GTA is pretty fun. How much is a specific build? All right, let's do it. All right, I got the second question. Let's go ahead and jump on over. PJ's just doing some wiring for the hot swap, getting that set up. So we're gonna hop on over and spec it out and show you guys. All right. So this is our website. This is our configurator, and as I mentioned earlier, we do offer more case options. So you don't want our Millennium, I understand, it's cool. We do offer the Corsair 500D case and the Corsair 678C case under the Millennium class of desktop. Both of these are pretty cool cases, and again, I have nothing but good and amazing things to say about Corsair cases. They're awesome, so it's a good alternative option if the Millennium doesn't strike your fancy. But for today's spec out, we're going to go with the Millennium. So again, the price point is going to vary because there are differences in the specs. Actually, let me do a little something over here. I'm like, I have the specs right here. Aha! Beat you to it. All right. So it is a white interior. Where is that interior? Black exterior. And we do have HD UV printing. So that does increase the price. So there is that print right there. Let's keep going. Oh, there's a special offer. So you'd also get that, but that doesn't impact the price. This is a bonus. For the CPU, we're going with a 3950X. Where is it? There it is. Add that. Now everything changes. Cool. And this is just a CPU, so just get strap in, friends. It's about to get fun in here. All right, that's the motherboard. Memory, we got 3200 of 32. It's only 2.6 here, but for today's build, we're using 4. Cooling, we want the 360. As you can see, the Corsair cooling is also there too. All right, we're not doing cryo core. For case fans, we did get the QL fans. That also includes the controller that allows you to customize the fans too. GPU, all right, we went to 2060. So this is where it gets a little iffy, right? So the 2060 Super is more than the 2060 KO from EVGA. It's going to be a tricky one, but for now, I'm going to go with the 1660 Ti. I know it's not the same, and again, like I said, this is not going to be exactly the same, but that's close to the graphics. I'll go with the 2060 Super just to be safe. But again, this is a little bit more pricier than the EVGA card. Just as a point of reference, just letting you know. Operating system drive, where is that? Fiery CUDA, there it is. Although I will say the one we have today is a 1 terabyte. Then we had a 6 terabyte mechanical drive. We don't have the Seagate. Well, we'll use this one. 8 terabytes. Oh, look at that. Let's see if we can do some magic here. I don't know. I have to read the instruction manual to see if we can get this going. Power supply is correct, and everything else looks good to me. Actually, the hard drive cable is actually this one, so we gotta add that too. There you go, everyone. Priced it out, and there is the final price point. So this system, I was estimating to be close to 4,000, so I wasn't too far off. 4,320, and again, that CPU is a beast. It's a really, really big factor in this system, and also the GPU price definitely changes a little bit too. So it should be cheaper theoretically. But there you go. There's your answer, friends. There is your answer. All right, let's go back. I just got a package here. It's gonna be tricky. Hopefully not. And again, this is a streaming PC as well. But if we change the case, the price would drop as well. I can confidently say that. That I know, that's for sure. Case option definitely affects the price point. We're using HEV printing. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in this PC build. So, and of course that the CPU is, again, the biggest component of the system. 350. That Ryzen is so nice. It is, honestly. It's gonna be great for handling the streams, and the 2060 is also gonna be able to handle that NVENC encoding. So, all right. Don't mind me. I'm just, wow, this thing is high. Okay, that's that. Yeah, chat, if you got any more questions and whatnot, I'm more than happy to answer. And again, I'm surprised no one said it yet, but there's always that comments like, oh, I can just do it cheaper myself. It's true. I'm not, what do you want me to say? It's like, no, you're right. All right. This thing is tiny. A little puck. Look at that. That's cool. All right. He wants a lot of pink. Well, you can do pink, orange, yellow, whatever you want. Purple. That's the cool thing with Corsair IQ, is that you can customize it however you like. Blue, red, or make every single color on the fans like individually different colors. You make it a rainbow or have it like constantly changing. Corsair IQ is an awesome software. And when you connect the fan, or now the RAM is already in the motherboard, the fans are gonna be connected eventually. It's a really cool ecosystem. And of course, if you have Corsair devices and peripherals, those also connect as well to IQ. So pretty cool. Join the Discord. Welcome. And of course, if you guys do want to talk to us on Discord, discord.gg/originpc. We have a pretty fun, tiny little community over there. Some people like to share off their PC builds, which I'm always more than happy to check out. I know last stream we had people sharing some crazy builds on their end. It was really cool to see them. So our mods have to approve you, and then you're good to go. But it's a fun little community. Again, PC focused enthusiasts, so very cool. The RAM is nice. It is. Dominator, like, I know that the other RAM kits from Corsair, you know, they're pretty good too, but it's just something with a Dominator. I've had Dominators for years now. My past PC build had Dominator. I fell in love with it instantly. And my new PC build also has Dominator, and it's like, I had no other choice. It's Dominator. You can't go wrong with it. I know there's a premium price point associated with it, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, Facebook chat, you guys are going great. The person call in and talk with the person, hold on. Give guidance and give me, or is live chat built into the build page on your site? So our live chat is connected directly to our sales team. So those guys are the ones that can help you spec out a PC if you need any help. They're PC gamers. Some of them are also super aware with like workstation systems and professional systems, like government and business. So that chat can connect you and get you set up. And even not the chat, but also the email as well. We have a phone number too, if you like to call. I mean, more people to talk to, right? Danny, does most of the builds you guys have done have always different parts from you guys offer? You can play a part because you're not estimated from what you guys not offer? Honestly, it depends. There's a little bit more to that answer, especially in the fact that sometimes the parts aren't on the site. It really just depends. And most of the time we try to have the parts that are also on the site too, just to make it like one-to-one. But there's usually cases where it's sometimes not the case. Like in this case, the 2060 GPU, we don't offer that specific card on our site. Have you done any 2060 series with newer Z370 boards or just Z39? I think we've gotten rid of almost all their Z370 boards. I don't think we offer them at all on the site. So, especially now that we even have we don't even have those anymore because we have the new 10th gen. So those are pretty much all gone. So 10th gen, it's such a weird thing. It's like my first major PC at an Intel 4th gen. I just got a 9th gen, and now we're at 10th gen. Oof. What are the specs? The specs are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You can see them right there, but I'll go ahead and just for you, I'm gonna make a quick jump to the spec screen if you want to take a screen cap quick. And again, the highlights of this build are the CPU, the RAM, the storage, the GPU. All of it's a highlight. But this is a streaming focused build because I know people are like, I saw the specs and I always have to ask, like, wait a second, is this streaming? So this is a streaming focused build. Because normally on our builds, we do include those 2080 Ti's. I know everyone loves them, but today we're including a 6GB EVGA NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 KO Ultra Gaming GPU, which honestly is a very affordable, very friendly GPU at that price point range. If you're not keen on the super class of graphics cards. So it can play everything at pretty high settings. So hard disk drive in 2020. What are those? I know. Trust me, I don't have one on my PC at home. I have all SSD. I've abandoned the hard drive. I mean, they're reliable, sure. They're good for external, I think, but for bigger storage. So Ryzen CPU build now getting more common. I've been in the loop is better than Intel nowadays. So it depends who you ask, and also the benchmarks, and specifically what kinds of benchmarks. Historically, not historically, but recently, I would say, I haven't seen any of the 10th gen benchmarks, so I can't even speak for 10th gen. Based on 9th gen CPUs were excellent for gaming. For professional stuff and rendering and anything that involves using the use of multiple cores, AMDs were really, really good. Both of them are still great for respective, like the opposite thing, right? So AMDs are also still really good for gaming. The Intels are also really good for professional work. It's a matter of preference currently. We will see how the 10th gen performs. I have no idea about the benchmarks. I haven't seen them yet. I want to. So we'll see. Wood and crate armor sounds sweet. So when we ship our systems, we ship them in wooden crates, and there's a reason for that, because a long time ago, when the company shipped out the systems, shipping services, I won't name names, but they mishandled the PCs, and customers would be receiving the PCs in a horrible state, and it wasn't our fault, it was the shipping services fault. So that's why I introduced the crates, so they can't mess it up. I mean, sometimes, maybe it's like a super low percentage chance that something might mess up, but the majority of the time, everything's pretty safe and compact in there. The way we pack the systems are also insane too. ThePoolshark, when you receive your system, you'll see how meticulously packed it will be. We can also include the foam internally, because you know how there's a special foam that can inflate and like fit. It's what's it called? Instapack, and it like fills in that space inside the desktop, so nothing moves around. So we use that. We have a bunch of foam. It's layers upon layers. It's a mission to get the system up, but it is worth it because it'll be secure. So, would a 2080 Super be a good GPU to pair with an i7-7700K? I think it's a good combo, honest. i7-7700K is still a solid CPU. 2080 Super, good combo. Honestly, there's no bottleneck threat there. I know people are always scared of bottlenecks. If you have that CPU, fine. 4th gen, pushing it. But 7th gen, no, you're fine. And that CPU is still going to last a couple more years, my opinion. But for sure. Oh man, we'll have power. It'll have the power cord. The system also includes. We also include everything that comes in the boxes. So there's like a little accessory box, which like let's say the graphics card or other things come with different accessories. We include that as well. So you get, oh, Duty Bleak, I see you. Did you hear that, PJ? Duty Bleak. I know, he's there, bro. Hey. Hope everything's good with you. I want to buy a PC that's actually decent. Can I get one about $600 to $1,200? So it depends, right? So what I always ask people is, what resolution are they going to be playing on? And what settings is going to be their preference? And also what monitor they're using as well. Because if you say, I have a 1440p monitor that runs at 144 hertz, which is like the sweet spot nowadays for modern PC gaming, you're going to need probably a 2070 range, around that range graphics card with most likely an i5, Ryzen 5 or up. And that's going to probably cost, again, estimation, I could be totally off because, price points change, leaning more to the 1,200 range. And again, it depends on what monitor you're going to be using, what games you're going to play, because a WoW PC and a Minecraft PC won't be as demanding or won't require as much power as, say, well, I have to be careful with Minecraft because Minecraft is also RTX now. I can't use that as an example anymore. Oh, Minecraft, what have you done? You've ruined my reference points. Now Minecraft can melt your computer because for those of you that don't know, Minecraft does have RTX now, specifically Windows 10 Minecraft, not Java. And it does require a beefy system to get it running and looking really good. So I can't use Minecraft anymore. I'm bummed. But if you get what I mean, basically is what resolution you're going to be playing at, and you can work from there. And what games you're playing on as well. Do you have any to win 10th gen will be in stock? So we're going, if you order a system on our site, we won't be shipping them until after. I mean, there's still going to be what we call lead time. So lead time means that like we put in the order, we get the parts together, and we put the system together, then we ship it out. So there's a process. It's not instant. We do have our RTS systems if you do want to get a system that ships out really fast. But for a true custom system using the parts that you selected, that'll take some time. So if you order one today, eventually it would include that 10th gen. Actually, again, if you do want to go with an Intel build today, 10th gen is pretty much your only choice. Or if you want to go with the Xeon and up. So, can I play Crysis? Can I play Crysis Remastered? Yes, I can. I mean, well, honestly, I know they were talking about how Crysis Remastered is going to have ray tracing. I want to see how it looks. I keep talking about it, but I want to see it. So, what about Threadripper? We do offer Threadripper as well. And man, those chips are huge. They're like this big for a CPU. When you hold one in your hand and you compare it to a regular Ryzen chip or Intel Core chip, and you're like, what? They're pretty big. So came from 1070 as well. I thought about doing two 1070s back then, upgrade to 20 because of SLI right now. I don't recommend it. People come in and ask if they want to do dual PCs, so or dual GPUs, I should say. Meh. Unfortunately, back in the day, I always date myself when I do that. Back in the day, it was a thing to have like 4 GPUs, 3 GPUs, 2 GPUs, and SLI was really popular because developers actually supported it back then. Nowadays, only a handful of modern games support SLI, so there's really no point in going with the 2 GPU setup. Professionals do benefit from it, especially some softwares. So, Mesa, glad to hear it. You got Red Dead 2. I hope you enjoy it. Red Dead is massive. I know it's going to take a while, but it's a really good single player, and of course, it's a fun little multiplayer. Red Dead Online, it's a lot slower than GTA, for sure. So, glad to hear it, Mesa. I hope you're enjoying it. I've been playing some GTA this weekend. Get some friends together, do the heist. We're actually doing the Doomsday heist right now. It's a little bit old. We're older now, but I still have to do the casino heist. I haven't done it yet, so I have all the prep work done for the casino heist. I haven't done it, so I'm just so excited. I mean, at the same time, I'm excited and not excited about GTA being free right now. Is unfortunately that's going to attract a lot of bad actors, and you know what I mean when I say that. It's like a bunch of hackers jumping on and making everyone's lives miserable. But I know that the ban hammer will get them, and they'll fight or they'll have the hackers fighting other hackers. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that, but sometimes games do that. Those are the QL fans. So there's a strip there, there's a strip in the center, and then you would flip it. There's another strip right there. It's just strips everywhere. It's just insane on how many lights are in that fan. GTA, it's too addicting. Have you played RP? Nah. I feel like I'd probably be okay with it, but I feel like it's too much pressure as well. Like, you have to be always acting as well. It's like, oh, you have to pretend you're a drug dealer, or you pretend you're like some banker or something, like doing everyday work, but on the side you're like committing fraud or something, and I don't know. Maybe in the future, but I like regular GTA Online. So Modern Warfare started placing hackers with hackers. It's true, and actually other games have done that before in the past. GTA, I think, also has done that, where they put hackers versus hackers. So it's like, who's going to hack the worst? Oh. So my build includes AMD Ryzen 7 3700X and MSI 26 Super Gaming X. Honestly, that's a solid build. I'm glad that you're enjoying that. I know people are always like, oh, I just want to get the best of the best. In PC gaming, that's not necessarily, for some people, budget-wise, it's not a feasible. Let me jump over here. PJ, I swapped cameras really quick, so if you want to adjust. Because my head is blocking everything. Didn't GTA have dedicated lobbies for griefers? They do. That's one of their methods of moving the hackers and other stuff. But I mean, even if you don't hack and you just annoy people on the map, it'll make your target red, so people know that you're a threatening character. It's like, oh, this guy might kill you. Be careful. So let me jump over here. Refresh. What happened over here? Oh, let's stop that right there. It's lower. There you go. Ryzen for streaming and Intel for gaming? Honestly, you can still do both. There's nothing like, there's no rule of law that says Ryzen is only for streaming and Intel is only for gaming. You can do both. It's just a matter of the benchmarks and what people prefer. Let me lower that, just keep that low. It's truly a matter of preference. Benchmarks wise, that is what it says, but you can still game on an AMD perfectly fine, and if not, you know, you'll have an awesome experience there. And again, you can also stream perfectly fine on an Intel. They're both great. Honestly, I think AMD's done an incredible job over the past couple years making awesome processors, and you know, Intel's still pretty good benchmark wise. So where's Kizzy? Kizzy, who's Kizzy? Koozy's off, but he's doing great. Hey guys, have a 4070 90K with a 1080 Ti looking at 3900X. Should I wait for the next gen AMD processor? AMD is notorious for problems on new chipsets. I only game. That's an interesting question. I mean, it depends on how soon you want to upgrade. You have a solid setup right there, honestly. I think you're good for maybe 1 or 2 years. I think, again, based on those current specs. But when the next gen games start coming out end of this year and next year, I'm sure you're probably going to be looking into possible upgrades. 1080 Ti, solid GPU, excellent. And that CPU, the 470, again, that's for that 4th gen. I'm like, that's right there at the point where it's like, oh, I might consider upgrading. For me, that was like my jumping point. I'm like, no, I gotta make the jump. But I mean, you can wait. There's nothing wrong with waiting, because again, you have a perfectly solid build. If you didn't have anything, I'd say just go for it now. But since you have already a solid build, I'd say probably wait. I got my 1080 Ti from a crypto miner who gave up early on doing crypto. How's that going? Man, that was a rough time. I'm going to tell them like, oh, you whippersnappers didn't know when GPUs cost $1,000. Or $2,000. I don't want to say $1,000. $2,000. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Oh, that era is so long ago. That was what, 2017? When Bitcoin got all crazy and people were like, oh, I can mine Bitcoin at home. Yeah, man. No, not anymore. The halving was just a couple days ago. So now people, like, even if you have like a super ultra setup, now it's even harder to mine and you don't get as many Bitcoin anymore. That's just the way that Bitcoin is designed. So thankfully that was only like a one-off thing. That won't be happening anytime soon unless like another cryptocurrency just becomes really big all of a sudden and people want to mine that. But realistically, no. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. I'm getting off topic. Speaking of streaming, I have a tough time getting a steady stream going with my i7 7000K and my two 1070s. Game runs fine, but no matter what I do, the stream always falls apart. Have you tried NVENC encoding, GH dude? Because you have two 1070s, and I'm curious if you could possibly have one just handle all the encoding and let the 7700K and your other 1070 handle that. I'm speculating. I could be totally wrong, but maybe you could try doing that. That could be an option. If not, maybe take that 1070 and put her in a smaller build with an older hardware and use that as a streaming PC. That's my theory. So I have one GPU's dedicated encoder, but it seems like CPU's having a hard time keeping up. Especially if you're gaming and streaming at the same time, especially if it's modern games, because the 7700K was fine a couple years ago for doing that. But now with games being a little bit more demanding, like Doom and others, I could see that potentially being an issue. Your other option is to possibly reduce the resolution of your stream from like 1080p to possibly 720 or lower, and mess around with those settings to probably improve. But definitely look into the resolution and the bitrate to see if you can tweak that to probably get the most out of it. Again, my other option would be to recommend just to go with a 2 PC setup, but that might cost a little bit more money. I'm already at 720p. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really specific situation. I'd probably say more testing and consider going with the dual PC setup if you want to continue using your 7700K and 1070. I love the background. Thank you very much. That's our game wall. I like the Half-Life. I always make sure the Half-Life box is featured prominently. So I still can't believe, speaking of Half-Life, is that I got to play and beat a Half-Life game this year. It's so hard to believe, but I actually did do it. I'm actually working on a second playthrough through Half-Life Alyx. And it's awesome. Honestly, Half-Life Alyx and Doom, easily top games of the year so far for me. Easily, like no question. For me personally, and I like action games and shooters. So, and Half-Life and Doom are like two franchises I've been a fan of for way too long. So, it's really cool. Yeah, dual PC setups where mine is that. Yeah, again, you have that second 1070. You can easily move that to another system, or potentially sell it and use it towards doing other stuff. But that's for you to figure it. I can only just shoot out ideas. So, how much longer do you think a 7700K 1080 Ti is going to last for 1440p gaming? Ooh, good question. It depends on the games. Like when Cyberpunk comes out, that's going to be demanding. Like there's no doubt in my mind that game is going to push systems. Like that's probably going to be the game that might push you. Not Joel. So Assassin's Creed as well. That's definitely going to be a PC pusher too. So when I say PC pusher, I mean that there's games that come out that make you rethink your PC build, right? For me, my PC pusher was Doom, and I guess by proxy Half-Life Alyx, because I know those games are going to be new. They're going to be using new technologies, and I made the jump. Do I regret it? Nope. Crysis Remaster. I mean, we don't know yet. Crysis is talking a lot of game. We don't know. Mafia. I don't want to talk too much about Mafia, but Mafia Trilogy. There are rumors. I'm not gonna confirm. Like I don't know. I can be totally wrong. From what I saw, Mafia, the remaster for Mafia looks crazy, absolutely crazy. If what I saw is true. So if you're a fan of the Mafia series, keep an eye out open for next week, because next week they're going to be doing a stream, and they're going to be announcing stuff. So stay tuned. I'm interested. I like Mafia 2. I never got a chance to play Mafia 3 or 1, but I really like Mafia 2. So could be cool. AC recommended requirements are not that crazy, but then you'll see like with Valhalla. So we're in a transition year for the game industry, I like to say, because we're making the jump from the previous generation to the new generation. And what happens, this has happened before, is that games are going to be coming out for both the old gen and the new gen platforms. Like for example, the new Call of Duty is coming out this year. There's going to be a new Call of Duty coming out this year, as usual. It's most likely going to be supported on the original platform and also the next gen platform. So that next gen, so you'll be able to still run it, but if you want to have it look really good, you're going to need that extra performance. So, a big unknown gamer. Hey, I bought a PC from you guys. I'm noticing my build has been in assembly for 4 days now. I don't have any crazy water cooling. The build is normal. Talk to your sales rep. I know you should have a sales contact. Unknown gamer, talk to them. And I know that we're busy on our end. I can say that without worry. But just talk to them to see what's the status is. I know that the site has its updates and stuff, but if you want like a true update, just email them. Trust me, they got the time. So currency next gen is going to cost some weird system requirements on the PC. It's true, but I think what people have been doing at least developers, publishers, is that they do, like, Doom did this, and I liked it when they did this, is that they did the minimum requirements, and they did the recommended, and then they did the ultra. Like, they actually had specifically requirements. If you wanted to play Doom at, like, the highest possible settings, they had requirements for that. I think they're going to be doing that this fall. So, whatchamacallit. Oh, thank you for the reminder. I completely forgot. The thing is, I turned off all the alerts because they're really loud. I need to tweak that. I'm going to probably do that after this stream. But for all subs, donations, anything that happens on Twitch specifically, anything you guys do, all that goes straight to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So if you're watching on Twitch or if you're interested, just hop on. You don't have to. And that's an option. And greatly appreciate it. I know we just sent out our last check over to them, from my understanding. I know I get the emails, so pretty cool. I'm still waiting for a 4K Serious Sam remake. I mean, we got the HD ones, and technically you can play Serious Sam on 4K on PC. I'm playing Serious Sam 2 in 4K resolution, so I'm like, If anything, what I'm actually more excited about is Serious Sam 4. Planet Badass. I'm hoping that more information about that game is revealed during the summer, so that should be interesting to watch. What are your thoughts on RAID configurations in your PCs? We do offer them, so we do offer RAID 0 and RAID 1, and let me double check, but those are the most popular ones. They're there. I personally don't use it. I know some people do, especially professionals. Professionals are usually the ones that prefer the RAID setups. Gamers, not so much. Because again, with RAID, you can either have your choice of having the drives duplicated for improved speed, or improved backup, the backing up the files and stuff. Again, RAID's another ball game, man. I just know that it's there. The options are there, but professionals tend to pick those. So I don't mess with RAID. I just know that it's there. You can do it, but it's a cool option. I don't think it's too popular though, but we do offer it. I want to see games in Unreal 5. It's gonna be so good. Did anyone see that tech demo? I know a lot of people were talking about the PlayStation stuff. I was like, yeah, PlayStation, blah blah blah. It's gonna look better on PC. Jeff Keighley's awesome, and I know that Epic is hyping up the fact that the PlayStation 5 SSD is going to be awesome. But graphics-wise, I think PC is going to have a beat. That said, the technology in the console SSDs is very interesting, and it's going to be a game changer if the developers can use it. That's really the big question, is the SSD magic. And it's not just PlayStation that has SSD magic. The Xbox also has SSD magic too. When I say SSD magic, there's a lot more technical stuff behind there, but it's not the same as SSDs you'd find in a PC, from my understanding. So, do, 16 gigabytes RAM is not enough to change my mind. I mean, I got 32, so I really can't change your mind. I like 32. I had 16, and then I saw the prices of the RAM dropped, and I'm like, I'm going to go at 32. So, if keyboard mouse compatible, they're going to beat PC. See, that's the thing, though. Like, the majority of people are going to be playing controller. You can already play keyboard and mouse in a couple of games on the consoles already, but it's going to be a reality that people just will always accept that PC is going to be more. I mean, the thing is, the $3,000 PC is going to beat the consoles. And again, the big thing is those SSDs. If the PCs can access those SSDs, the technology in those SSDs, again, what they're claiming, PC is going to launch like crazy. Oh, man. If you can get a specific SSD designed for games on PC, come on. I know they're talking a lot about that SSD. That's like the big focal point for them. Because graphics, we already beat it. We already got there. There's next-gen graphics coming out eventually. I don't know when, but it's coming. You know it's coming historically. But that SSD, I know people are always SSD. It's a matter of waiting and seeing what it really is about. And again, unfortunately, I'm going to be always a huge proponent for PCs. So I'm biased. You're not going to win me over with any console arguments. Are they easy to use? Absolutely. Are they cheap and easy to get into? Oh, no question. But is it the same gameplay experience? For me, no. It's PC. I'm spoiled at PC gaming. Always have been. Will it be faster than M.2? So that's the key thing, is that the SSD technology in the PlayStation and the Xbox, PlayStation mainly is the ones that are more interesting right now. From what I've read, again, Xbox would just come out of nowhere and be like, oh, our SSD is really good too. But they're both going to be really good. Is that they're designed specifically for games. Specifically. PC SSDs are designed in general. So they're designed for, normal PC tasks, software, games, whatever. They're going to be fast. And speaking of that, speaking of the SSD, just as an example, we're going to talk about the FireCuda SSD. So the PC in this build is a 1TB FireCuda 510 SSD. This one right over here. And it actually uses PCI Gen 4 because we're using a Ryzen CPU inside. Where is that? Right there. So by combining the Ryzen CPU with the FireCuda SSD, you're getting speeds that are absolutely insane. So here are the speeds. That's really high. Again, this is extremely fast. What's going on with the consoles, from what they're saying, is that the SSD is designed around games. That's the saying. I mean, the thing is, this FireCuda is great. Can't go wrong with it. It's a solid choice. And again, like I said, if you get an AMD with this SSD, you're going to be destroying everyone in terms of speeds. So it's pretty cool. It's just the console SSDs, I feel like it's a lot of talk. It's a lot of talk, not a lot of proof per se. The Unreal Engine is impressive, absolutely impressive, but I gotta see it. I gotta see it in action for myself. That's what convinced me with the Xbox 360 back in the day. The Xbox One and PlayStation 4 didn't really impress me when those launched, but the Xbox 360 definitely impressed me back then. Because it was like, these are like PC quality graphics with the 360 generation. So. Let me stop rambling about SSDs and talking like a crazy person. The SSDs are coming! ThePoolshark can now stream like a pro. This system is truly like a professional streaming system. Like, again, just taking a brief look at the specs all over again. It's a pro system. Like, I don't know what else to say. That CPU is insane. Storage is fantastic. Solid RAM kit. So, yeah, what can you do? It's great. And again, if hypothetically, you could always convert this to also like a crazy gaming PC with a GPU upgrade as well. But it's a streaming PC, so. So. Let me see here. I'm gonna create my GPU and don't know which one to get. It's between RTX 2060 and RX 5700 XT. What monitor are you gonna be playing on? It's Alpro. That's my question to you. What monitor and what refresh rate? And then I can easily 104 for hertz. And what resolution? 1080p. 2060 Super. That should be able to do that. And again, that's like right there, but if you want secure, if you want to sleep at night knowing that everything can handle or can run perfectly fine, 2070 Super. But 2060 Super is the one to go with. especially if you want to play at 144 hertz for all your games. 2060 Super. But if you're playing, again, lower spec games like Counter-Strike, 2060, the regular 2060 and lower is fine. But 2060 Super is the one I would recommend. Silly question, do you sell individual parts or just builds? Also, do you have any lines of credit available? So we do just builds. For individual parts, we do have our gear shop, but in terms of like SSDs, graphics cards, CPUs, we don't do that. We do have credit options available, and that is through a third-party platform that we've partnered with. You'd have to. We have more information on that on our site if you're interested in learning more. If you go to special offers, we actually have a 0% APR promo, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, for 6 months. But again, you have to qualify for that one. Again, don't do it if you can't afford it. I always have to remind people that you can't. Don't get yourself in a hole. I know things are, uncertain right now, so don't do it. So we do have options there, so you can check it out. If you go to special offers on our site, you can see more information there. You guys like downplay yourselves over on Facebook, like, oh, what kind of community? I think you guys are great. It's a really lively community. I know it's like, maybe for an outside, don't worry guys, I've seen multiple gaming communities. You guys are fine. I mean, the majority of gaming communities I've interacted with during live builds is, usually everyone's been fantastic. I'd probably say maybe 0.001% of people have been like, eh. But the majority of the time, gaming communities have been pretty great. So. How many does a 2060 retail? 2060 Super should be around 400 on average, but again, it depends. Prices are changing always, so you want to check up on that. We love Facebook. Ludo, you're great. Everyone else go home. Just kidding. No, you guys are very lively. It's great. I will say this, I've wanted a PC for so long, I've always had to go with friends to have fun. There's just, PC is great, man. It's party. There's so many, the wide range of games and experiences you can have on PC is great. And again, you can always upgrade. I always have to remind people, you can upgrade. So, you're not set in that one platform. The CPU is going to last you, again, like I said, you always make sure you pick a good CPU. So. And there's just a lot of freedom with the PC platform. So. Oh my gosh. You guys are fantastic. Facebook chat, I wish I could have just post it on the screen so people could see what's going on, because Twitch right now is completely out of the loop. Twitch is right now having more technical discussion, which I totally don't mind, but Facebook is, what is this? Oh man, it is a party over there. What is this? Are you calling me a dingus? Now that I'll take offense to that. Who is calling me a dingus? Get over here. Get over here. What do you got? What is this? I take offense to that. All right. Who's getting spanked here in Quake? That is my, you say you call me a dingus and I am activated. I'm like, oh, all right. Let's begin. All right. Tell me. Tell me. Stop. I'm ready. No. Anything you can say could literally just you could tell me I'm the worst person in the world. I don't care. Just tell me. I need to know. Why am I a dingus? Me, you dingus. Oh, let's go. Let's go. All right, I'm going to watch Dr. Brule on my Adult Swim channel, and we'll have a good time. What do you recommend to get money for a gaming PC? Get a job, work, hustle. That's just the way it works all over the world. If you're younger, you know, stick to school. Yeah, stick to school.
Stick to school, get good grades.
Get good grades, work.
Be good to your parents.
So, I can only redeem myself by firing Ludo. How can I fire him if I never hired him? Oh. You're a doohiss. What's a doohiss? Doohiss. Do you mean doofus? B-Tech, Tech Jesus. Tech Jesus. That's a first one. I've usually referred to myself as a cousin of Gamers Nexus, who is so much smarter than me when it comes to PC hardware. He's a great. Check him out on YouTube. Save up your birthday money. Sell your body organs if you're ugly. You can always fire Ludo. Oh man, hire him here real quick, then fire. He'll be fired. Hiring, firing, that's not my job. I can't make those calls. Don't do school, stay in trucks. Eat your parents, respect your vegetables. That comment broke me. Oh my gosh. What do you think is easiest, mounting the motherboard in the case and then attach the CPU fan, or mount the CPU fan first and attach the motherboard in the case? It depends. Honestly, you can do it so many different ways, technically. I personally like to mount the motherboard, the CPU already on it, and then once everything is taken care of, I mean, like quite literally everything, then I do the CPU. Actually, it's weird because I did it both ways, right? So for my heatsink build, I actually put the heatsink on first, then I mounted it. For my liquid cooled build, the CPU all-in-one cooler was the last thing I did. That depends. It truly is a matter of preference of like, can you actually get your screwdriver in there and get your cooler on there? But, And plus, if you have the case flat, because currently PJ has it vertically set up, but when I work on my cases, I usually have them flat, so I can like stand up and work on them like that. So. I like it like that. So having it flat. It's the table, honestly, because you have a table you can move, but for me, my table can't move. So.
I mean, I only use this table when we're doing the live builds, but other than that, I don't have a.
You've had them flat before, though.
I never lay my systems flat.
Really? I do. What? Ludo is a nerd button. Man. Buying a pre-built, it's cheaper to get separate parts. So, one thing to always remember with us is you get your support, right? You got the service, you got the whole 9 yards behind the scenes. We take care of it. So if something does happen, you know, it sometimes does, we take care of it. So if you built it yourself, if an individual part, something happened to it, or multiple parts, something happened to them, you'd have to go individually to each company to interact with them. With us, is you just talk to us directly and we take care of it. So approximately an hour and 20 minutes in. How long is the average build? We try to aim for 2 hours. But again, it varies on the complexity of the build and if other stuff is involved. A couple weeks ago, we did a liquid cooled build, and that we didn't finish that on stream because that would take a very long time to do, approximately possibly 5 hours. Again, that's a custom cooled system. A system that is not custom cooled like this one should take approximately between 2 to 3 hours. So. All right. Facebook, I need you to do me a favor. Be honest. Give me the lore behind Mr. Ludo here. I need the lore. Catch me up. I need the previously on ThePoolshark. Give me the lore. I need the lore. I'm out of it. Ludo, you can give me your side too. I need the lore. What is the lifespan of the Frostbite 360 all-in-one? It should be 4 years and up. Or, yeah, around that range. The lore here is apparently that Ludo is trash. Ludo is fired. Ludo is Greek. A mod and never does his job. Ludo doesn't do his job. They're calling him a horrible person. This lore is very, very juicy. He gets fired every stream. He's crazy. And a monster. Hashtag ban Ludo. Hashtag fire Ludo. Man, when I asked for lore, you guys are offering plenty of lore. He's bad at Tarkov. Direct from ThePoolshark himself. Oh, no. Ludo, they have set you up on the pedestal to die. Unfortunately. Oh, no. This is a war of unprecedented just incredibleness. Just nuts. Ludo is a Greek god that has made it his life's mission to be the most hated mod in streaming history. He team kills. This is... Everyone else is putting up Ludo as the quite literal villain of the streaming industry. Like, I'm reading these stories and it's like, Ludo, you need a lawyer. Ludo equals bot. Oh, no. I'm going to swap cameras here. There you go. Sorry. Ludo and much of Pool Stream likes pineapple on pizza. Takes change from the Red Cross at Christmas time. Oh, man.
That one was harsh.
Worse than a scav in Tarkov. Scavs are pretty bad. A group of animals. He's the worst moderator. You guys are making me cry now. Tears of joy, not tears of sadness. Just because it's just... I am loved. Oh, man. Ludo invented ask.com. Oof. That's a bad one right there. Oh, you have some admirers, Ludo. Some, but I can't say that. Would you deliver to the UK? We do, but shipping rates do vary. So if you do have a system set up, you'll click on the flag and you can change it to your country, and it'll show you the shipping rates, which again vary. US is the cheapest rates, and actually on systems we do offer free US ground shipping, but for international shipping does vary. But we do deliver. Hashtag Ludo Crickets. Oh my gosh. Well, Ludo, I guess you should own your role as a villain, to be honest. Time out. I need to call out this comment, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. Chad over on Facebook says, Ludo is pretty much a Chad, but this is from a Chad. Your name is Chad, and you're calling Ludo a Chad. I'm so confused. Does that mean you're Ludo? By that logic. Ludo doesn't wear face masks and stands less than 6 feet away from elderly people. Oh no, just keeping it, amping it up. Amping it up. The fact this is never ending, by the way, I asked for lore. You guys are giving, not even just lore, you're giving me an encyclopedia. I just can't. Ludo hates Ludo. It's just like, it truly is just the rabbit hole from here. I'm guessing 1060s wouldn't be as good as 270. Honestly, just go with the 270. Again, we were talking about it earlier in the stream. SLI, not a good option right now. Developers don't support SLI. It's better to go with a single GPU setup for gaming. If you're a professional, you can potentially get benefits from multiple GPUs. So. Yeah, Magnumer is spot on with that. You can actually, it's true, you can actually impact your own performance if you go with attempt to go with an SLI or Xfire or Crossfire setup. That's an Xfire. F in the chat for Xfire. Man, that's old. It's all about the Discord now. Speaking of Discord, our Moobot actually just posted about a Discord channel. I like Discord, man. I remember when Discord started, and when I learned about what it could do, it just blew my mind. I'm like, this is the future. Fast forward to now, it is. It's the thing, man. Discord's great. Do you recommend getting an i7 or i9 for gaming? Think about 2070s for gaming. If you're just gaming and you want to save some money, the i7 is perfectly fine. If you're doing more than gaming, so if you're planning on possibly streaming at the same time, consider the i9. So, and Facebook definitely put it in the F for Xfire. Wow, that is a comment for days. Ludo is like a Wikipedia. Everyone gets a say. Who remembers Ventrilo? I do. People still use it, though. Vent is pretty popular still, I think. If you want an image of what Ludo looks like in real life, he looks like Plankton. I'm assuming from SpongeBob. Or maybe an actual Plankton. Like in, real life, not the SpongeBob Plankton. All the cool kids use Skype these days. Ugh. No, I'm not a fan of Skype. Teams is okay, but Discord, I'm cool with Discord. My first streaming rig was a gaming rig too, and ran off an i7 8700. Still a solid CPU. Yeah, I can agree with that statement, unfortunately. Not going to say it, but I agree. Skype used to be okay. And then it just kind of fell off. When Discord, I knew for sure I would never use Skype again when Discord added video. The day Discord added video, uninstalled Skype. Wiped it. Don't want it anymore. Discord doesn't. And it's true. There's just those random bots that send you those random links. You don't click on those links from those bots. Next thing you know, your computer is sending messages to other people on Skype. So just a little background here right now. PJ is working on the cabling for the system. Those are some of the wires for the Corsair IQ setup, as you can see on the left side. The actual inside of the computer is pretty much good to go. It's cleaning up the wiring. And then the power supply is not set up there, though. That's going to take some time. So, Ludo tried to steal the recipe for Krabby Patties. Amazing. The fact that the lore still continues to now, and I asked about this like a couple of now minutes ago, it's crazy. So from my understanding, basically he is the devil incarnate, but yet you put up with him. Interesting. Very interesting. Need to learn how to do cable management. Well, PJ right here, if you watch him very closely, you'll see how he handles it. A lot of it is just measuring and making sure that you're, making sure you're using the right amount of cable per the length. Because sometimes in builds, people end up falling for the mistake where they end up using too much cable. So what that means is the length from point A to point B is too much, right? So they didn't properly manage into the fact that, it's all right, too much or too little. Like maybe they have to go a little bit longer. Or they use too much cable. So making sure everything's set up there. But he's our devil incarnate. There you go. It's the same setup as Soltech, dude. They both have a Millennium. So Soltech is custom cooled system. This is a all-in-one loop, all-in-one liquid cooled CPU. It's a different setup, and then the Soltech system was more of a gaming system. This is a streaming system. Mr. Platt, am I still able to play on PC if I'm paying, or I'm assuming paying monthly? Yes. I mean, if you, again, we do have the monthly payments option on our side, and other places also offer monthly payments too. You should be able to play on it, right? It's yours. It's just, you know, you have that contract that says you have to eventually pay for it, or else you're going to get smacked with a bunch of interest, which interest is bad. For those of the younger viewers watching in the audience, you don't want interest. It's bad. So make sure you read the fine print. That's one of the best advice I can give. As someone that writes fine print, always read the fine print. And then your credit gets slapped, and that's even worse. Oh, that's true. 100%. Don't want to mess with that credit. Because then you get into your head like, oh, I can just, you know, pay monthly, which for some people is perfectly fine. But then when you realize you can't make those monthly payments, interest will like decimate your account and credit. What mic to use? Sounds crystal clear. We're using the Blue Microphones Spark Blackout, or Blackout X, if I'm not mistaken. It's awesome. We've been using it for years now, and I always have plenty of pleasant things to say about it. We also have the cover to make sure you don't hear my breathing. Like that was intentional, but you know what I mean. It's great. Follow YouTube. You spot a Cronus build with you guys. Will be able to swap out the GPU when it gets here. Yes, my recommendation though, before you do that, is to contact your support team so they can walk you through it. The Cronus is a very compact system, and you can do it yourself. The thing is, it has the PCI ribbon, so you talk to the support team so they can walk you on how to replace it. You can do it. It's totally awesome, and again, we're not going to stop you. But if you want background to do on how to do it properly, talk to our support team. You own the system. You have access to our support team. What is the most budget CPU you would recommend for a NAS with 4 to 8 drives plus a NAS's own drive for OS? I mean, you could probably go fine with an i3 or Ryzen 3, right? Theoretically, if it's just a regular server for storage. I mean, Ryzen, we don't offer these, but Ryzen just released a couple of budget CPUs that are crazy good. Like $100 range CPUs that are excellent in performance for the price point. Maybe look into those if you want like a true budget. And then they're brand new. So check those out. I forgot again, I focus mainly more on the higher end of the PC hardware side. I don't really mess with those too much, but they've been really getting a bunch of positive press. And here we offer, you know, the high-end stuff. So you're gonna hear more about that 10th gen Intel and 3950X AMD. So and they're coming though. I just saw like a bunch of articles and I read the benchmarks on them, and insane on those Ryzen chips. Definitely a very intro-friendly PC build. I'm interested to see how they perform in the wild, for sure. A Go XLR? We actually have a Go XLR in the studio. I was gonna say, that's how I can manage all our audio setup. So if you want to see me not talk anymore, I can. It's a really cool feature. Hey Dave, if you got any questions about the specs, I'll be more than happy to put more details on them. I know with a lot of PC specs, sometimes a lot of it just like is pretty overwhelming. Gigahertz, megahertz, and quantity of the RAM, the core count. Megahertz is just usually just speed based, basically. It's higher numbers, usually faster. But RAM is weird because sometimes a higher RAM might be better, lower RAM might be better. It's weird. It depends on the processor too. So big shout out to the builder. PG getting some love from the chat. So some questions came in just immediately as I went to the specs. I thought AMD was a little ahead on the CPU side. AMD's doing great, but in terms of benchmarks, it's really, really close compared to Intel. You can't go wrong with either. I mean, those are your two options if you want to get a processor. But from what the benchmarks have been saying, this is not my personal preference, this is what the benchmarks have been saying, is that AMD's really, really good for professional tasks and stuff that requires high core counts, while Intel's also Intel's really good for games. Both can do the other thing. They're both fine. It truly is like a matter of just brand preference. Questions for me to ask everyone: does the number really matter anymore? Like 10th gen, 9th gen? Should they just drop the gen counting and just say new Intel processor? Generation doesn't really mean anything to me personally anymore. I feel like it's just like a stepping stone almost. Actually, I'm curious what Chad thinks as well. What do you think about the term of generations? Because at some point they're just gonna stop, right? Like Ryzen isn't technically the 3rd gen, but they don't really like calling it as a gen. And it's true, it is a way to identify the type of CPU. But I think it's also in the number too. But I will say that now that we're 5 digits for the CPU number, it's getting a little much. Because having to say 10900KF for CPU, imagine I'm reading the specs and I'm like, oh, we got the 10900KF. Even just saying it, I'm just giggling just because it's more than 9900K. So. So I'll let you know, I built my PC about a month ago. I didn't realize how quickly a 10th gen CPUs are coming. It's tricky, right? Because unless you're following like computer news, you don't really know if stuff's coming out. Here on the streams, usually, we're under NDA, so I can't really say stuff. I can just, if stuff's out in the open publicly, I can bring attention to it. Because I know in the last stream, I brought attention to the fact that 10th gen was coming in the last stream, but I couldn't say when. So there's a lot of stuff, that you can't say. But again, if you got a modern CPU, you're still fine. The difference is it's like a 5-10% boost. And again, I haven't seen the benchmarks for 10th gen, so I can't even like verify it myself. Like I got a 9700K back in December, right? So 5 months later, the 10th gen of that i7 just came out. So I was like, oh man, if I waited 5 months, I could have gone in this. I'm really happy with my CPU. It ran Doom great. It ran Half-Life great. And I expect it to run Cyberpunk and other games in the future perfectly fine. So how long will it take for how long will it take for the PC to arrive at Poolshark's house? Depends once we've done integrating it, make sure everything's good to go, and then it's shipped down, and however long it takes the shipping service to ship. I can't give a specific time frame. It'll have to be done behind the scenes. All right, I'm catching up over here. AMD's a little behind. I mean, it depends on what you're asking. So AMD's really good in the budget sector for graphics. You'll find that a lot of people really like the 5700 XT. We offer actually that on our site in terms of that space. NVIDIA is killing it right now on the higher end for graphics. Unfortunately, there's nothing on AMD front, but considering the new consoles do have graphics from AMD, it's kind of safe to assume that there is new stuff from AMD coming out later this year too. On the PC side, because I'm sure if the consoles are getting cool AMD graphics, why can't the PC, right? Am I right? I don't know whether to get AMD or Intel. It's really hard to choose. Any tips? Look at the benchmarks, and also depends on what you're using your computer for. I've said it multiple times. Again, this is based on benchmarks, not personal preference. Personal preference, they're both perfectly fine. When I was speccing out my personal PC build, I was like weighing both, but I got a really good price on the 9700K, so I was like, I'm gonna go with the 9700K. It's which one can you get at a really good price? They're both solid. Do you want, like, if you really, really, really care about SSD speed, the AMD is probably your choice. If you really, really, really care about single core performance, consider the Intel. You see, it's like those little tiny things that sometimes people might prefer over the others. So it truly is a matter of preference, unfortunately. You can't go wrong with either, basically. There's no such thing as a bad CPU in the market, thankfully. I know there was a couple years ago, unfortunately, there was that case where you could go wrong with a CPU, but that's not the case anymore. So what is the approximate price on this build? We spec'd it out earlier. It's close to 4,300. And again, we do have a lot of customization going on with the system, so that is like it. So like you'll see, we have a custom panel. We have RGB lights. The processor is crazy. So it's up there, and the case itself too. Machal, whatchamacallit, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I don't know if it's Michal or Michal. Please let me know. I try my best to pronounce everything correctly. I'm like, oh no, I mispronounced something, but thank you very much. Upgrade from R5 2600 to an R7 3700X big performance base with RX. Honestly, solid build. Do you think Cyberpunk will be playable on 1060? Yes, and it might be pushing it, depending on the resolution. It's playable. I strongly believe it will be playable. It might look a little funky, but it will be playable. A good question. When will we see 8K PC screens? There are already some out there in the wild, but they cost an insane amount of money. Now, when they become more common, I don't know. Honestly, there's not too much software or games that support 8K resolutions yet. 4K is like slowly becoming kind of a standard now. I mean, even because like now, if you go to like say Best Buy or any of these places for a monitor TV, you'll find that 4K is, you can get a pretty decent price on a 4K TV. A couple years ago, a 4K TV cost $5,000. Now you can get one for like $200 or $300. So it's only a matter of time. But 8K, nah, I don't think that's gonna be anytime soon. Games are most likely the only platform, games and software, the only platform that can support 8K, because video and multimedia, not there yet. It's so much data, and the amount of data for a 4K movie is a lot of data information. An 8K movie is an insane amount of data information. It's not ready. Games can do it, and there are games you can actually push to 8K from my understanding. I think Forza is one of them. But it's super like niche, ultra niche, you could say. Turbo buttons. Oh man, don't get me started with turbo buttons. We're going turbo. That reminds me of like the NOS in the Fast and Furious movies. You know, when they're driving and then they're like, oh, we gotta hit the NOS. Turbo on PCs. I hope AMD closes the gap with the graphics card competition. Is healthy. I 100% agree. As you can see with Intel and AMD, honestly, the competition has been fantastic there. Both have been, you know, up in their game. So definitely want to see more in the graphics front. Cable management is a thing of beauty. Take out a bag of salt, but if I did the math right, the new Xbox is going to be comparable to what a 370 or a 380 is. But I would probably say, again, I'm guessing here. This is 100% a guess. The new consoles, both Xbox and PlayStation, are going to be comparable to the 2060 Super. Closest, again, graphics-wise. That is my guess. Maybe they might be pushed to 2070 Super. But again, we have no idea until we see actual gameplay of these things. So, and once Digital Foundry really gets their hands on it. I feel like once Digital Foundry, for those of you who don't know, Digital Foundry YouTubers, they're like a subsect of Eurogamer. They do an incredible job at like the nitty gritty when it comes to graphics and performance. When they get their hands on the consoles, then you'll know. So we'll see. But I'm pretty sure the consoles graphics, again, like the secret sauce for the new consoles is not the graphics, it's the SSD. That's what's really going to be the game changer. Because graphics right now, PC is always going to kill it. But that SSD is what, for me as someone that has gamed on PC and is a primarily a PC gamer, that's what it's all about. That's why I've been raving about this SSD business for like the entire stream. So, because like, what if our friends over at Seagate can give us a bone and give us one of those fancy SSDs for PC? It's like only a gaming SSD and games can benefit from it. Oh, I would immediately install that on my computer. No questions asked. Zero. Just boom. I'm buying it. Sure, it'll cost $400. I want it. Give me the SSD magic. With so many 2080 Ti options, what would be the best for 104 hertz and 2K monitor playing Warzone? It's just a matter of what works best. You can't go wrong with the 2080 Ti's. There are like minor differences in performance with 2080 Ti's. EVJ has like a massive lineup of 2080 Ti options if you want to check them out. Asus, everyone, there's just so many 2080 Ti's to choose from. All of them will handle 144 2K for Warzone. Pretty sure, because it's a 2080 Ti. All right, catching up over here. Loving my 2080 XC Ultra. Again, right there. EVGA. Have you guys had any mad motherboard issues like USB disconnects, reconnects randomly, system crashes on different CPUs, GPUs, and RAM? You might have to RMA it if that's the case, because I've never, I mean, I don't know. Motherboards are weird, right? Because there's so many of them out there. There could be like that one little factor somewhere that just causes it to malfunction. So. As well as the PS5 will not be close to 3000 series, more like 970. I think it's going to be comparable to the lower end 20 series. That's my thing, because they will support ray tracing features, but people are getting too ahead of themselves when they think ray tracing, because I think it'll be more of the lower end. I'm still like slowly catching up. Go talk to Linus Sectors with their AK videos. I mean, that's Linus though. Linus is always doing all the crazy stuff. So, and he's got his servers, like the second he starts making those AK videos, he's gonna fill up those servers. He's gonna need like 20 servers. So, what's up? Watching from Scuff Gaming. Hey, how's it going? Good question. Do you think in the future all the PC parts will become smaller and the PC will become smaller? PCs can already be pretty small. Let me jump over here to our site and show you guys the Chronos, which is a pretty small system to begin with. In terms of parts themselves, everything has standards. So the ATX, like the size of GPUs, CPUs, the motherboards, that's all a standard. There's no, like, it won't shrink, right? There's MATX, so like a smaller version, or ITX, like super small. There's different standards and different sizes for motherboards, so there's no like shrinkability, if that makes sense. It's just the performance will get greater, but the size can still be the same. And actually, you'll find that sometimes the smaller stuff costs more money because it's smaller, it's more compact. And so this is the Chronos. It's our small form factor system that we offer on our site. And we also offer other small form factor cases as well.
Say it again, Louis.
Chronos?
Say Cronios?
Chronos.
You said Cronios.
Did I say Cronios? Cheerios? I don't know.
Say it again.
Cronios. Cronios. But yeah, no, things won't get smaller. Performance will improve. But if something is small, it will cost more money. That's going to be a consistent thing with PC hardware. Do 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 do.
This may go a
Okay. Sorry, I'm just catching up with people on Facebook. You guys on Facebook, by the way, I have to give you guys a ton of love. You guys are awesome. Twitch, you guys too, excellent. Excellent comments and whatnot during the stream. I'm just trying to catch up to everyone's stuff. I hope the PS5 console looks nice. I mean, if you look at the controller, we can already get an idea that the console will most likely be white. A combination of white and black if they're consistent with the design. Now, how will it physically look? I don't know. I will say that Xbox Series X does look like a little like the Corsair one, but we're friends with our friends over at Microsoft, so we won't say anything too much there. I know we saw that the first time when the Xbox Series X was revealed during the Game Awards last year. I was like, that's a Corsair one. Yeah, man. The Xbox Series X. I mean, it's a cool looking design. I like the verticality of it, but it really does look like a Corsair one. So. Oh. Do 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 do. I remember when the 2080 Ti was a rave. I do too, and that was actually close to the time around that Bitcoin craziness too.
Mm-hmm. Remember, you can even remember when we had I don't even know if you were aware of this. Like, that was so crazy at one point that customers were calling asking to specifically buy video cards off of us.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the other thing too is that they would buy the lowest end system and cram it with 4 2080 Ti's just so they could buy video cards.
Yep. They just sell the parts and just keep the graphics card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want the low end.
Bad times. Because we got the graphics cards at, the regular rates because we're a manufacturer. We build PCs, so people are abusing us. Man. It's a fast. I was wondering, you guys still shipping worldwide? We do ship worldwide. You have to click on the little flag when you're ordering your system, and you'll see the shipping rate. And if your country's not on the list, contact our sales team. I had to build a PC in 15 years. Is there a big difference in building one today? Well, you no longer need a super heatsink now. You can use an all-in-one cooler. That's a big one. PC parts, you can actually build a PC without a hard drive. You can use an SSD which you mount in the motherboard, so that's already another part off the list. But overall, the designs are still the same. Motherboard's still there. You got your RAM, you got your graphics card, you got your CPU. But
would only still be vintage to him is the Molex.
Molex, yeah, Molex is not really a thing. No, it's gone. It's retired. The power supplies do sometimes include Molex, but the majority of parts nowadays just use regular. The new version of power cables. No more Molex. Those 4 little pins. So.
New power supplies only coming with SATA power only?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
But they include the Molex option. Like when I got my power supplies, they included like the little extra cable, just in case. Because some devices still use Molex, like RGB strips. So.
The reservoirs and pumps, even the Corsair reservoir
Yep.
pumps, they still use Molex. Molex can die too for me. Like slow death.
Nice beards, you two. Thank you very much. It's the quarantine. The quarantine. Samuel over on Facebook perfectly sums up this entire stream. Twitch is all the tech guys interested in building the specs. Facebook is like a frat party. No one knows what's happening, but Ludo is going to get it. That is the perfect summation of what's happening, because I have I have all the chat on one side of my screen, and on the right side I have the Twitch chat. So Twitch is like usually tech focused and whatnot, but on the left side a lot of the Facebook comments are coming in, and it's a riot, if I should say. When do you think we'll be just working on workstation servers in the cloud and just using a keyboard, mouse, monitor setup at home? I still think we're a couple years out from that, to be honest. If Stadia is any indication, we're not there yet. Some places do offer that. I know Microsoft and Amazon have both been working on that sort of stuff where you can just, you don't really need a supercomputer and do that sort of stuff. You can just connect online and do that. But there's always that one benefit of being able to do calculations and all that workstation stuff locally. But I think it's just a matter of time. Once the internet gets better, once ISPs improve, not saying their names, I'm just saying I don't have a fiber at home, so I can't enjoy what some people have. We're not there yet. Basically, internet needs to be easily accessible for that to even be a thing. So, but for now, local is always gonna be better. Sorry, Stadia. I know there's some people are really excited about it, but for me, I was never sold on the concept. I feel like it was still ahead of it's too early. The what?
You pay premium on YouTube? Do you pay for premium YouTube?
Nope.
No?
No.
They gave me 3 free months of Stadia.
No.
I was like, no.
Nah. I feel like Stadia is an interesting concept just right now. It's not, for some people, it's just not feasible. No, we're going to make up PJ soon enough. We just actually... He can talk. He can say hi.
It just stinks that I can't hear.
He can't hear you guys. Actually, for the next stream, we're going to have everything set up so PJ can hear and talk at the same time.
Yes.
So I have it in the palm of my hand, but I received it, and I was like, oh, this is great, for like 30 minutes ago. So do you think that Gigabyte Aorus Master will hold its place as the go-to for high-end motherboards or for the new Intels I have? Do you like that? The one has 3 M.2 slots, and I imagine the VRM's just going to be top-notch on it. That I know what your motherboard you're talking about. Honestly, it could be that, right? I'm curious what other people come up with, but it's honestly crazy. Truly crazy for a motherboard. But it's also pricey. It is really pricey, but it'll be cool. We'll see. Is Elgato going in the PCIe slot? I believe it is in PCI card, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know there's the external one and the PCI one. Pretty sure this is the PCI one. Because we have a GPU and the Elgato card. I'm just trying to remember if the Elgato card was a PCI or external. Pretty sure it's internal. It makes sense. I think this isn't live. What? I am offended. I just read your comment, and now you look at you. You are live. I just commented to you live. Oh no. Hello. But if we weren't live, that was a really coordinated attempt at making it seem that we aren't live. 200 IQ. Speaking of internet, what do you think of the Starlink project that SpaceX is working on? I'm not too caught up on that. I'd have to read up on it. But isn't that like the space-based internet? Like where they use the satellite? It's kind of like super satellite internet. I know satellite internet's been a thing, but satellite internet's not that good. So I just like the idea of renting out a time on a system with 10 quad or 8,000 for rendering instead of putting it onto these cloud farms, which is a whole nother step. I agree. Maybe 6 and 10 years will happen. Yeah, that's honestly a good purpose for that. Is to have it on these farms. And again, like I said, Stadia is like the right idea. It's just we're not there yet. I don't think we're there yet. I did it. I have caught up to the chat. Mission accomplished. And now everyone's going to put a bunch of comments about Ludo, and now I'm going to be behind again. Nope. Here we go. No, it's Skynet. Skynet. Speaking of Skynet, I watched a retrospective video on the Terminator 2 show from Universal Studios. I really like that show. For those of you that like theme parks and stuff, or aren't familiar with it, Universal Studios at their Orlando, Hollywood, and Japan parks had a Terminator 2 show where it's in 3D. I know that sounds a little antiquated nowadays, but it was really cool to see how they made it and the excitement behind it and how like it's a hit with it was a hit in general. I was there actually the week they closed it, so I was able to catch one of the last shows before they closed it down. So it took me back. I was like, oh man, going to theme parks, that was cool. So anyone in chat have an Origin PC looking at the Neuron build? In Facebook chat, I don't know, but 3D or 4D. So it's marketed as 3D. It's kind of technically 4D because they put the smoke and the water and the effects and whatever. But it really is more of like a 3D type thing. And you have the stage actors on the thing, but it was a really cool hybrid show, right? Because you had the actors, and they kind of made it really feel like you're in Cyberdyne. Of course, talking about Skynet taking over the world. And if you're familiar with the Terminator franchise, that was like a massive like geek out moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what they're talking about. So, is this an AMD build or Intel? It's an AMD build. Disney has some amazing 3D holographic. They do, and holy cow, the Star Wars ride they just built or just opened a couple months ago, Rise of the Resistance, is insane. When everything gets back to normal and parks are reasonable to go to, if you have a chance, check it out. But I know right now it's not really the time to talk about theme parks. So, but I'm pretty sure they're working behind the scenes on doing it the right way. PJ can manage my cables anytime. Oh, wow. I learned that today. Yeah, making the internet more accessible to more people is definitely a good goal. But it's just like, I want my fiber. I'm so selfish. I'm like, I want my fiber. Give me my fiber. I want my fiber. And people are like, go eat your mini wheats. I'm like, I will. I'll eat my mini wheats and I'll like it.
Oh, you want fiber optic? Metamucil, man, that helps.
Ooh, Scott coming in with the SLX. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a very long time.
Who has an SLX? Someone
On Facebook, yeah, someone in the chat has the SLX. Dual GTX 80Ms in SLI and an i7 6700K processor. That is still a crazy computer, even today. That's how crazy that laptop was. And still is. Continues to be a crazy laptop. SLX is crazy. It's just that, like I were talking about earlier, SLI, not really feasible. Speaking of laptops, we've actually introduced a couple of them on our site. Let's go over them really quick. So let me jump back over here. We just introduced an all-new Evo 17S powered by Intel 10th Gen and GeForce RTX 2080, or actually up to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Super with Max-Q design. This is a thin and light laptop powered by next-gen tech, super powerful. But it's a very light but very powerful system. And then we also have the 15S. And don't worry, I'm going to get to our thick laptops soon enough. So just like the 17S, the Evo 15S also has a 10th gen Intel CPU and up to NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Super. And then finally, this one actually is pretty popular among people, is our Eon 15X. And this one's pretty new. It's a little thicker, but it has a Ryzen 9 3900 desktop processor. I need to emphasize that because this is a desktop CPU, just like the one, similar to the one you're seeing on the live build inside a laptop. So those are 3 new laptops we've just introduced in the mere couple of weeks. Do we have more? I don't know. But it's crazy that we've brought out some new laptops with powerful tech. That's what SLX reminded me about that. But very cool stuff, especially if you like laptop computing. Me personally, I'm more of a desktop kind of person, but there are some benefits of a laptop design, especially for someone that, say, travels a lot, or who prefers that form factor. And the screens on all these are insane too. I didn't really get into that, but some of the screens, we offer 240 hertz refresh rate on some of them. And then I believe, if I am correct, which one has the OLED? I think it's the Evo 15S. 15S has OLED. Yep. The Evo 15S has an OLED 60 hertz 4K display and a laptop. What? So that's these are premium laptops that are offering cutting edge hardware. So, but again, the laptops aren't really for everyone. It's an option. We offer higher end stuff. I know people are going to say like, oh, that might be a little too higher for me. That's what we offer. That's our thing. So, yep. Origin hook you up with a nice build for your home, or hook you up with nice builds for home. Are you talking to me? I think you're probably talking to me. No, but I mean, you know, sometimes you get good deals on parts. So, I built my PC. I don't have anyone mess with it. I built it myself.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, PJ.
Whatever.
You gave me some tips though. I applied the tips, but I built it. I did it. How do you keep a laptop cool with a desktop processor? So the trick is a massive heatsink. That's really the trick. If you open up the laptop, you'll see that there's a giant heatsink that's attached to it. The cooling on that is very sophisticated, and it always has to be upgraded whenever new technology comes out. So there's a reason those laptops are a little bit thicker than the Evo laptops. Evo laptops are thin, but the Eons are a little bit thicker, and there's a reason for that. It's for cooling. And it's a 3900. I always have to make corrections sometimes because people are always like, oh, it's a 3900X. It's not the same. It's a 3900. So it's not as powerful as 3900X, but it's still pretty strong in terms of performance. Do those laptops work as streaming devices or just gaming? You could technically do both, especially the Eon 15X because that is a desktop CPU. Sometimes what people do is they treat their laptop as a streaming PC. So they can use it as a gaming if they want to, but they connect an external capture card and they connect their desktop as their gaming PC and use the laptop as a streaming PC to handle that. So the prices vary. Our starting at price points are, from my understanding, I can check it right now actually. It depends on the system. But just as a point of reference, the Evo 15S starts at a price point of $1,949. Again, these are premium laptops. I need to emphasize that these are the big boys. So, like, they sound great. They're super powerful, but these are not mainstream. They're better than that. That's what I gotta say. So that's our laptop lineup. So, laptop. I have a cell phone, or I call it a cell phone. I have a cell phone, and I call it a cell phone. Does that mean you can swap CPUs? Theoretically, yes. Now, do we recommend it? Not necessarily, because the chipset on the laptop is, I believe, the 400. Let me check. I don't know if we have it on our page, but I'd have to look up my notes to confirm. Where's my chipset quote? I should have known this. Chipset. No, we don't have the chipset mentioned on the page, but it does depend on the chipset. And again, theoretically, right, you can replace it. So if you got, say, what I recommend to people that get the desktop laptop processors, or less laptops with a desktop processor and they want to upgrade, is if they get the Ryzen 5, they can theoretically upgrade to the Ryzen 9 for the 3rd gen, right? But if the 4th gen Ryzen comes out, that's where compatibility, no one really knows. That's the big question mark with that. Again, theoretically, you should be able to, since AMD is really compatible with stuff. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but if you do want to go from Ryzen 5 to Ryzen 9, that makes more sense, especially in the same generation family. I have to put an Elgato capture card in my daughter's PC tonight, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Len, if you stick around, PJ will actually install an Elgato capture card in the PC. You can see how he does it.
Very simple.
It's really, really easy.
All you gotta do is,
I mean, he'll show you soon enough. Right now he's doing the cabling, but if you just stick around a little bit, if you miss the stream, you can also catch us in the end. But he's actually gonna do it. So if you want to see how he does it, so you can see, it's really, really easy.
plug it in. That's it. Just plug it in the
So.
PCI slot. It's that simple. Everything else is more software based.
Yeah. Are the mesh filters behind the front door on both sides removable for cleaning? Yes. Luxury PCs, man. That's what it is, man. Not gonna lie to you, because it's true. You always check other places for cheaper laptops, but we're not cheap. We're premium, baby. Premium. Twitch Prime. That was a bad joke. Is it difficult to connect a capture card with a laptop for console streaming? Not really. If you have an external capture card and you have a modern laptop, you should be fine. Those are usually USB 3 based. You just plug in that. Elgato has excellent external capture cards. Shout out to our friends at Elgato. You can just do that. I know a lot of people do that. They use the external capture card.
You know, I hear a lot about Elgato, but I'm just curious, just because I know we use Elgato, but does AverMedia still make?
I think they do. Pretty sure.
I haven't heard anything from them in a very long time.
Sheriff, howdy.
Sheriff's in the room?
Yeah, Sheriff's here. Looks like another amazing PJ build.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sheriff. We're holding it pretty well over here. Still building computers. Still working from home. I remember when pre-built computers were way more expensive than do-it-yourself. In the past few years, the delta between cost of do-it-yourself and pre-builts is lessening. That is definitely the case in some builds. But the problem is with the pre-builts, not going to name any names, but sometimes they use cheaper parts. And you'll see that if you open up the PC itself, and you'll know if they don't use brand names in the part list. For us, you know what you're getting in the PC. We usually name the brand unless, like, we say it's Origin PC approved, but even then we still use pretty high-end parts. The parts are significantly cheaper on some of those pre-builds. So, and the power supply is usually the target, and that's the one I would never cheap out on, honestly. So who's on the Linus Tech Tips GPU fan mod? Not me. But PJ is an expert on modding PCs. You have a couple of crazy PCs on your belt. You got the Big O, you got the Wolfenstein build, you got the Ludicrous PC, which we haven't even talked about that the entire stream. Surprise. Cyberpunk build. There's a lot of, we have a pretty decent modded collection. If you check out our Instagram page, you'll see them. If you scroll through, you'll see, if you see Crazy PC, PJ is most likely has been involved with that.
Level Cap. He has the.
Level Cap, yeah. Yeah, Level Cap got a crazy system. Yep.
I went back and looked at that the other day too.
I have a question. Can I make a customized CPU? What? Hold on. Please ask that question again. A customized CPU. What is the asking price? Please ask the question again. I think I know what you're talking about, but if you can ask it again, I can. As someone on Twitch is asking, like, I'm not too sure, but just ask the question again. I'll be more than happy to answer. The power supply, motherboard, and CPU, all three things to not cheap out on. Everything else can be replaced. That is 100% true. Magnumer. You can.
Not completely, but you can.
You can. There's definitely leeway in the motherboard. I am looking to find out an Origin PC gaming or Origin gaming computer. Check out originpc.com. Talk to our support or sales team. I say support, but we have plenty of places you can ask about making a custom PC. I saw you guys added the Corsair 220 Ti, I believe it's called. I thought I had for my own build. Yes, we did for the Neuron. Let me jump to that. Whoop. We just did this, by the way. So we added more case options on our site. So we offer the 220T with the metal mesh in the front. I know that there's a 220T with the glass. That's the one of the glass is the one I have at home. This is an awesome case. Like, I can't speak. I think it's great. And Neuron's great too, but there's just something about the 220T that I really, really like. So. I'm getting hungry. I had a small lunch.
Almost.
Do you enter an Origin PC giveaways? I do not, because I am legally unable to. If you read the terms and conditions, you'll see that anyone who works for Origin PC cannot enter. And if they did enter, they still couldn't win. And I would know, because I know who works here, right?
You
So.
can get your cousin to sign up for you.
They technically don't work, but, you know, it's in the terms and conditions. You see? Do you do laser precision tucks on custom plexi for 2 cases? That is extremely specific. We can't do that on our website. But we do laser etching. Now, precision cuts for plexi, that's super custom. You could try talking to the sales team to see if that's possible, but that is like leaning to the super custom level. But there's no harm in talking to the sales team to see if there's something they can do. Ludo, you know what? I'm gonna join all the people that hate on you. Let's order pizza. You pay, I eat. No, man. Now you got on my bad side, Ludo. I was thinking pizza today. Now you're telling me that? I am hurt. My heart is broken. I'm with you, anti-Ludo fam. Let's go. You're fired. You're fired. I've got G20T and it is amazing. Isn't it? It's so cool. What's your take on ATX and Micro ATX motherboards? I feel like 10 years ago, Micro ATX was bad, but I'm not sure anymore. Micro ATX has definitely caught up. It's very solid. It can definitely fight with the best of the rest.
The mini boards?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, Micro ATX, yeah. Yeah, they're great.
The ludicrous build. It's got an X470 in there with a 39.
Yeah.
With a 3950X.
Yeah, the reason I fired Ludo is because he said that pizza joke. I did not appreciate it because I'm hungry. I'm hungry. So, he's an MATX. There you go. I feel like I'm not missing pools from hearing me say that. Hey, man. You take away pizza from me, I'm gonna get rid of you. Don't take away pizza time from me. Do you have video of the ludicrous build? We have pictures. The best video of the ludicrous build is honestly MKBHD's video. He does a pretty good job at showing it. So definitely check that out.
I have pictures. Yeah, I got pictures.
Deep dish, thin and crispy or regular. I mean, I like pizza of all flavors and all different things. Just give me a pizza. Normally, I'd regular. What am I saying? Normally, I would order regular. But if I see a thin and crispy or a deep dish, I'll eat it. I don't care. It's a pizza. Anything but pineapple. I know people really don't like that pineapple, but again, it's pizza. I'll eat it. Anchovy, I'll eat that too.
You don't like pineapple?
I like the pineapple. I'm okay with it. Is it my first choice? Nope.
No, I'm saying you like pineapple. Like I'm just asking in general.
Oh yeah, I like pineapple. Yeah, pineapple's fine. That's a very diplomatic answer. But do you like pineapple on pizza? Again, like I said, it's not my first choice. But if I'm at a party and the people order pineapple pizza and I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat that pineapple pizza.
Oh, you're dangerous, though.
I'm hungry, man.
You're living that life.
I'll do it. I'm hungry. I'll do it. And what I really don't like though are the olives. Not a fan of olives. Those would be my last choice. I'll eat it, but it just something about it, like
Somebody orders a Supreme, you'll eat it. Like,
yeah, right. But it, like the olives.
Same here. You know, I like a Supreme pizza, but you know, if they order olives, whatever. I'll eat the olives. But if I'm ordering it, I'm removing it.
Yeah, no, I would never go out of my way to order olives or pineapple unless I'm trolling someone. I'm trolling someone, I'll totally order pineapple. I did that one time. I ordered a pineapple pizza just as a joke. I'm like, I'm gonna order pineapple pizza just to mess with them.
Pizza after the joke?
Oh, I ate it. I'm here eating my pineapple pizza. Okay, not my first choice, but it was a good joke, I have to say.
Haha, I got you.
Someone was asking if I play MOBA games. I do not. A couple years ago, I tried Dota. I'm just not good at them. like the item management and all that stuff. I liked Heroes of the Storm, and I was really friendly to it, but it's just like I feel bad when I let down the team because I suck. Like, it's such a bummer when I'm like, everyone's like yelling at me. I'm like, they're like, what are you doing? You're going the wrong way. I don't know what I'm trying. It's like, nah. So, MOBAs are not my thing. I'm more of a shooter, action kind of person. My go-to multiplayer game is Quake. I can talk about Quake for days. I haven't tried Warzone, and to be honest, and I know I'm probably offending a lot of people here. I apologize in advance. When Modern Warfare came out and I played the multiplayer, the gunplay and the gameplay in general just didn't click with me at all. Nah, not my thing. I beat the campaign, enjoyed the campaign, uninstalled it. I know Warzone came out, and the Warzone gameplay definitely looks probably better than Modern Warfare when it launched, but number one, you have to convince me to download 180 gigabytes to play Warzone. I'm good. PJ is holding the RTX 2060 KO. So that is not a supercar, but it is a 2060. High-end 2060. So, play Tarkov. You're going to suck by yourself. I'm waiting for Tarkov to get on Steam. I feel like the game releases updates is like breaks it right now. And I'm patient. I'm no rush to play Tarkov. It looks interesting, but when it's on Steam and it's, been through the ringer and updated, definitely do it. Did you say Quake, bruh? Quake is like my little middle name. I love Quake. Quake is awesome. Do you enjoy Rainbow Six? I do. Rainbow Six is fun. I haven't played it recently, though, but Rainbow Six, I bought it at launch. I played it occasionally. It's a very solid game. And I'm glad that it's found its community and took off. Why 2060, not a 2080? This is a streaming build. So this is not a build designed for games. This is a build designed to handle streams. Well, the PJ is also saying that the system can easily be converted to be a gaming PC. Very easily, I might add. You just replace the GPU and put a 2080 Ti and you're flying.
That's it. Just swap the cards.
What have you been playing recently? I've been playing a ton of VR. VR has been my my thing. I've been playing an insane amount of Beat Saber. Beat Saber is like my life now. It's like I finish work and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get up and do my Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber, man. I'm not Tarkov. Pavlov. So Pavlov is a first-person VR shooter. It's pretty much Counter-Strike VR, all in but the name. And I love playing Pavlov. My only complaint with Pavlov is there's too many servers that aren't about deathmatch or search and destroy. Everyone's playing Trouble in Terrorist Town. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to play that. No offense to anyone who likes Trouble in Terrorist Town, but if I want to play a VR shooter, I want to play a VR shooter. It's just like, I want to go running around with my dual deagles, go pew pew pew. So, Apex Legends is fantastic. I love Respawn Entertainment. I know they were celebrating their 10th year anniversary, which is insane. Or their 7th year anniversary, I'd say. It's just insane. All props to them, and I'm glad that Apex is still continuing to be a massive success. I don't play it now, but I did play it a bunch last year. Played Half-Life Alyx. I beat it, and I'm going to beat it again. Half-Life Alyx is one of the best games of the year.
Hey, speaking of, since we're talking about games so much,
yeah.
How did you do on your setting your Doom level on?
I haven't done it, dude. I haven't playing VR. I feel like my Ultra Nightmare Doom Eternal run is gonna happen eventually, once I beat a couple of other games.
Are you gonna stream that?
I have bad internet. I would stream it if I could.
Oh, now you have bad internet?
Dude, I've always had bad internet.
Are you gonna blame it on the internet?
Mm-mm.
Just gonna flake out?
How do you get such good cable management? Practice. Lots and lots of practice. And knowing how long or how much cable you need to get from point A to point B. That's really what it is making sure that you know what you need for what. When do you get fiber? I wish, right? I don't know. AT&T's been so slow. I'm not going to jump to Comcast. So, because that's not fiber. What's your opinion on new 3D series, especially when reports going to be 40% better than 20 Ti? Again, those are all rumors. I know nothing. Everything I'm going to say now is all speculation. the new graphics cards that are most likely going to come out this year and most likely going to come out sometime in the fall or winter or maybe next year. It's about time, right? I can't believe it, but it's been a couple years since the 20 series. Like, it's crazy.
2018?
Yeah, man.
2 years, and that card still dominates.
So, enjoyed watching Apex Legends, and I love Respawn's Star Wars game. Dude, Fallen Order, awesome. I know some people say it's a little derivative. Meh. I loved it. Gameplay was awesome. And, man, honestly, I can't wait for more. Like, they could they're probably going to turn it into a franchise. Without a question. So. Gang Beasts. I've never played it. I've always seen the videos of it. Has it been like a year or two? It's been 2 years since 20 series dropped. Close to 2 years now. We're getting close to the 2 year marker. Because sworn it dropped like last year. Not last year. Right? Time is weird. I want a Star Wars movie with the saber fights like the prequels. I don't know. I feel like Star Wars is such in a really weird place right now. I don't even want to get into it because people are going to get angry. So.
The only thing that Star Wars has good going for it right now is Mandalorian.
But even then, some people might disagree with you in that.
Yeah.
Like, Mandalorian, massive success. People love it. I enjoyed it. But there are people out there that didn't like it. It's just the thing. Like, people aren't going to like stuff. And unfortunately, Star Wars is that level that you're going to have people that aren't going to like it. And you're not going to be able to please everyone. And unfortunately, Star Wars is a franchise that tries to please everyone. It's just not, I don't think it's going to happen anymore. So, what I want is the new stuff. I was reading the other day that they're working on a Scarface remake. And I'm like, oh, why Scarface? Like, the one with Al Pacino is already a remake. So you're telling me that they're going to make another remake? Ugh.
Scarface?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Like, no. And apparently it's going to be set in LA?
I hope no one watches it. I don't care what kind of cast they get. It's going to be in LA now?
Yeah.
No, bro. Then it's not Scarface.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's just the Scarface thing got me bummed. And I'm like, you know what? The movie I am excited about though is gonna be Dune. I'm not big into Dune, but I like have a general knowledge of it. But Denis Villeneuve, or Villeneuve, if I should pronounce his correct or last name correctly, awesome director. Arrival is great. I love Blade Runner 2049, masterpiece. I saw it over the holidays and Blade Runner was awesome. It was just like, oh, Blade Runner, John. Let me just watch it. And I watched the entire thing. It's a close to 3 hour movie. I loved it. But I totally understand why people don't like Blade Runner 2049. But I loved it. Hollywood hasn't had an original movie 20 years. I mean, there's been a couple of original movies. There's a couple good ones here and there. The 5th anniversary of Mad Max Fury Road was a couple days ago. If you can find that hard to believe, but it's true. I still consider Fury Road to be one of the best movies ever made.
Mad Max Fury Road?
Absolutely.
You think that's a good movie?
One of the best.
Oh, man, we're never going to the theaters.
I loved it. Peter, you don't want to know how many times I paid money to see that in the theaters.
Oh, my God.
I watched the movie in theaters 3 times.
Oh, my God.
That's how good that movie. For me to watch a movie in the theaters 3 times is insane. Usually I just watch it once and I'm good. But 3 times. I love that movie. No, I loved it. Yeah, Dune, man, Dune, if it fails, that's going to be a spectacular failure because there's so much money. There's some, like, the cast is insane. It's an ensemble cast. Like, any one of the actors in that movie could easily carry their own movie. It's crazy. The live action movie of Akira, oh man, they've been working on that for years. I know they have
There's still teasing that.
Like, I don't know if it would be any good though. Like,
you know what screwed it up? And they made that movie Chronicle because the kid in that movie was supposed to be based off.
No, I mean Ghost in the Shell was like.
Ghost in the Shell was okay too.
I mean, Ghost in the, like it had a missed opportunity there. Like the sets and the design in Ghost in the Shell were cool, but the actual movie itself wasn't there for me at least. That's why I'm like about anime turning into movies. I know there's been a lot of talk about making a Gundam live action movie. Cowboy Bebop. I mean, they're making that into a Netflix show.
I'm looking forward to that though, as a matter of fact.
Evangelion. I don't know. If they made that live action, I would. No, I don't think it would ever happen. No way. I saw Deadpool like 2 or 3 times. Infinity War 3 times. Alita Battle Angel turned out well. I thought Alita Battle Angel was great. People also really liked the movie. I thought it was great. But that's more of a manga. There is an anime to it, but it's more of a manga focused thing. Imagine seeing the Lightning Bender live action. Will you guys build me a PC? Will you give me money? Oh! What is that? Chat. Facebook chat. What is that? Ooh. Hey, Pool. Pool, you there? Look at that. So that right there is our HD UV custom side panel. And we got ThePoolshark's logo right there looking very spiffy. Honestly, the depth on that, like looking at it from the camera, makes it look like you're going in. It looks really cool. So that is the side panel right there on the cable side.
IQ's not gonna activate until I set up IQ. You son of a biscuit eater.
So, but there you go. That is the custom side panel we were talking about earlier. So if you're wondering why the price was a little bit higher up, this is one of the reasons why. It does cost money to do that. The fans are not currently enabled, but the other RGB components are. So the RGB strips, the RGB RAM, and the RGB CPU cooler are all on. But the fans will be turned on when IQ is enabled when the PC is configured.
Yeah, I want to see them so bad.
So,
I've never worked with these lights.
yeah, the QL fans are going to look insane. Unfortunately, they're not going to be on now. But Poolshark, when you do get your PC and you do your unboxing, you'll see once it is on, it's going to be like an abundance of light. Again, if you don't like it, you can always turn it off. But you can customize to your heart's content, and it's going to be great. So yeah, so there's the strip there. The little tiny little GPU, isn't it cute? This is a little GeForce RTX 2060, the KO. It's great. Again, this is a streaming build. It's a very beefy streaming build. The GPU might not look it, but the CPU is where the muscle is in this thing. So, can we all agree that Adam Sandler's movies have been trash and it's messy writing, directing? I will disagree with you, and I will present to you Uncut Gems. Holy moly! That movie. Whoo, it's stress central. It's really good. Uncut Gems is definitely like really good. She's alive. Yes. The PC is alive. So there it is. PJ, if you want, do you want to jump on the mic and talk to the people? PJ's gonna share a little bit of words.
I have words. Not many. But build was fun. I hope you enjoyed. I'm looking forward to actually having these QL fans activated. I really want to see them. This is the first time I've used them, but they look super, super cool. As soon as this stream is over, it's gonna go straight back into my office, and it's gonna get weekend tested.
Weekend tested.
So I'm gonna beat it up, even though I'm not gonna be here to beat it up.
Actually, PJ, do we have the capture card? Because we're supposed to add that.
Oh yeah, capture card.
Hey, hold on, we're not done. Hold on.
Let me show you how difficult it is to install.
All right.
Very challenging here.
So. Yeah, I was looking at it like, wait a second, something's missing. And then Les over on Facebook all said the capture card.
Here asking, how are you gonna install the capture card?
Yeah. All right. So, for those of you watching, I believe it was who was it, Len or someone was talking about the capture card. I forgot, but this is the moment that there's a capture card. This is how easy it is. So, on the motherboard, there's what's called the PCIe slot. You can kind of sort of see it there. PJ, do you want to turn off the PC before I install? I mean,
Sure.
just to be safe. I mean, you can still do it while it's on, but we're gonna do it the safe way. So let's go turn off the PC and unplug it.
PC is off.
Why is the motherboard?
Because that's what it does
Yeah.
when it's off.
I mean, you're still fine. All right, so you see, PJ just removed the PCIe metal black backplate right there, and he just plugged it in.
Done.
Well, you have to screw it in though.
Oh.
So that took about 30 seconds.
Done.
And the thing is with the capture card, with an Elgato card like that, is you don't need to plug in the power. Everything is just through the PCIe port. It's awesome.
It's all software based.
It's
So once
all-
you get once the system's up and running, if you don't
Good.
have one, you're just gonna download the capture software straight off the Elgato website.
Yep.
And that's it.
Installing it is a piece of cake. It's just all the software stuff you have to worry about. But physically installing it, piece of cake. You got it. Thank you, PJ. I'm going to mute you.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right. So clean and empty in a good way. Way to go on the wire management. Honestly, very clean, very solid build. And that's it. Oh, man. Pool. It's been an honor. You and your community have been excellent. Ludo, I'm going to get a pizza. I'm going to order under your name. I'm going to fire you again. What am I going to say, baby? What am I going to say? You fired again.
I'm gonna order it under your credit card.
I'm using your credit card. And I'm going to order that thing. And we're wondering, who ordered this pizza? It was me. That's who ordered the pizza. Just saying. Actually, no, you know, who wants Twitch? You want pizza too? I'll get you a pizza. Mixer? YouTube? It's on Ludo's dime. Everyone, it's been an honor doing this live build. You guys have been fantastic. Very cool build. Again, this is a stream build. And just one more time for the people that missed it, these are the specs. Here you are. Take a screen, take a screen cap, and enjoy the details behind what's inside of this PC. And again, this is a streaming focused build. If you're wondering, I know people are asking about the graphics card. That is why this is a streaming focused build. I really don't have much else on my end, honestly. Thank you to everyone in chats. Everyone's doing fantastic. It's just a matter for us to clean up and get on out of here. I know I'm hungry. I'm gonna probably order a pizza to pick up on the way home. I know, right? But I'm gonna get like the deal, like the $5 deal. I'm not getting Little Caesars though.
That's a $5 deal.
No, I'm not getting Little Caesars. I'm gonna get Pizza Hut.
Only place you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
get
a $5 deal.
Pizza Hut. Does Corsair make the cooler? No, this is a Frostbite cooler. Chicken barbecue for me. Don't forget the tip for the server. Double as Ludo's card. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That server is gonna double the tip. Double tip. 40% tip. The Greek command orders pizza on layaway. Oh man, you guys are awesome. It's been awesome talking with you guys. You guys have been excellent. And again, if you want to see more information about us at Origin PC, you know where to find us, originpc.com. You can find us on social. I see a lot of you already talking on our Facebook chat, so you already know where we're at. And we got stuff coming up, and the intels are out. It's just, we got a lot of exciting stuff happening right now. All I know is I am so hungry. So, come on, hey on Facebook. Oh man, yeah, Facebook. You guys have been just, you know, so welcome. Greatly appreciated. When is the next stream, sir? Next week, hopefully. Crossing fingers. No dates officially confirmed yet, but hopefully we'll be on next week. If not, the week after.
I think it is next.
So, pretty sure next week.
And that one's gonna be a big one.
That is going to be a big one. It's going to be interesting. But no details yet. I can't confirm or deny anything, but hopefully next week. Hopefully. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Again, continue to be safe. Play lots of games. Ludo, I'm going to buy a pizza using your credit card. I hacked it. I already have like all the information. I got the 4-digit. I got the PIN number. I'm good. All right, the only thing to master is like faking the signature, and then we're good. Actually, I even ordered pizza for some of you guys on Facebook too on his dime. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.